If there is one thing I want the American left to take away from my videos, is that a vehicle is vastly more important than an object to flip over and light on fire. While mass distribution of the automobile in the United States has been nothing short of a public health and environmental disaster, it remains a fact that we have a large number of vehicles per capita unused in revolutionary activity. This essay won't go into the technical feasibility of building armored formations, but will instead focus on the strategic importance of maneuver elements on the battlefield. A force that cannot maneuver is a force that will be destroyed. In my opinion, all warfare is maneuver warfare, but that is more of a useful perspective than a hard rule. Even static assets like tunnels and trenches are used with mobile forces. Al-Qassam uses tunnels to maneuver troops around on a battlefield where they have been denied that mobility on the surface. Defending a long front with trenches still requires the counterattack forming the main part of defense, which means the force must be as mobile as possible. Defending in depth to delay while a maneuver element prepares for the counterattack was developed during World War I and has been further honed over the century. Armored vehicles are the greatest addition to this strategy, with their efficacy not really being up for debate. It is as standard as star forts became during the age of the cannonball. This is also true of armor being used for breakthroughs and creating decisive engagements. Solving this mobility problem is essential for any resistance force, even if it is purely a guerrilla force. Attacks cannot be carried out if the withdrawal is prevented. The attackers will be destroyed, and the greater force will be demoralized from fighting more. The terrain in much of the Imperial Corps is not suitable for the type of immobile guerrilla tactics carried out by many resistance groups. The amount of roads and the mobile assets at the disposal of security forces means that any resisting force needs to come close to matching that mobility. The principles of war remain the same no matter the conditions. We do not need perfection. We do not need the best technology. We do not need precision targeting. What we need is the ability to mass firepower and protect troops on contact. None of this requires miracles of engineering, just applying what has already been developed to our own assets. Reactive armor and blow-up panels are far more important than replicating the precision aiming at the Abrams. Not only is it just not feasible to reproduce the latter, the former allows contact to be maintained while preserving fighting strength and morale. A maneuver element does not need to look like a traditional armored or mechanized unit. Increasing the ability of maneuver for specialized terrain units, i.e., alpine, jungle, etc., will help to fill in the gaps of regular maneuver forces that may be under-equipped with maneuver assets. This is normally done with helicopters, but that is something that will obviously not be widely available for resistance forces if international support is not provided. This makes smaller maneuver assets of great value to these specialized units. Vehicles like the M274 Mule create faster speeds for units in terrain not friendly to the standard military vehicle, and taken further, the concept could allow these units to be the main way to achieve breakthroughs. Modular platforms that can transport heavy supplies through rough terrain, move troops when the environment allows, or mount weapons to create a mobile fire support system is exactly what resistance forces need to develop. These may not replace a helicopter, but can at least provide a serious challenge to that aerial power. The platform comes with the added bonus of easier logistics trains. Helicopters are so resource intensive, they skirt the edge of operational profit and can quickly lose any efficacy if a breakthrough interrupts the complex logistics required to keep them flying. This is what makes cheap and disposable platforms, when used correctly, far superior to expensive, large-lasting assets. In modern conflicts with the Empire, other nations have to contend with the fact that the global reach of US military power and the extent that a maneuver would have to extend beyond the borders of the nation being attacked. This is not the case for resistance in the Imperial Corps. As I have emphasized before, the approach to conflict inside the borders of the Empire, carried out by its citizens, is vastly different than what other nations have faced, being vast distances from the hard borders.